This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, drinking my pre-workout shake here. And I'm sporting my Taylor Hendricks Ouija board t-shirt that I bought off of her Pro Wrestling Tees website. She has the best kicks of any female in the wrestling business right now. Hope to have her on again for an interview soon, and we definitely hope to have her in Great North Wrestling next year, along with some of the other females I've interviewed lately. Of course, the Great North Wrestling Women's Champion of Canada, Lufisto, Miranda Gordy, Heidi Katrina, Amber Nova. There's so much great female talent out there. And the reason I really like this shirt is because, of course, it has a Ouija board on it, and I'm kind of very obsessed with those games. Very much enjoy playing them, even though it's hard to find people to play with a lot of the time. As Shane is joining me on here, I'm going to get right into the stream. Someone does not like that I call them female talent. They're also called divas, ladies wrestlers, girl wrestlers. You can't ever please anyone. I mean, I'll open this up, I guess, talking about Road Warrior Animal passed away this week, who I considered a friend. He was 60 years old. He died on September 22nd from natural causes. Well, at a Margaritaville resort in Orsag Beach, Minnesota, I guess. According to the Wrestling Observer, he had just celebrated his his wedding anniversary the day before, and his 60th birthday the previous week. They do say natural causes at 60. Obviously, we all know he's admitted in his book that he was a steroid user. A lot of people defend them, but we know that there is bad side effects to them. That could have played a factor. Maybe it didn't. Who knows? But it was shocking that he passed away. But what I was going to bring up that you can't please everyone is somebody said, well, he'll be in heaven with Hawk and all the other people. First of all, does anyone actually think Hawk would go to heaven with all the bad stuff he did in his life? But I said last night that I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe that all these dead wrestlers are just frolicking around in some magical place. And I was called names by some Jesus freaks. So I just find it funny that you really can't please everyone. And then I also said, God bless his family. And then the people are on at me. How can you say you don't believe in heaven and then say God bless someone? It's a figure of speech. So open up your own YouTube channels and you guys can tell the news how you want. I'll say it how I want on my channel. And I'm sorry, at a certain age, I stopped believing in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, and I don't believe in some magical heaven where everyone goes to when they die, but I am open-minded. I am very open-minded, and I'm not saying that when you die, it's over. There is evidence of ghosts, for one thing, and there has been some strong evidence of reincarnation, and there's been evidence of outer body experiences as well that people have had, such as Demolition Axe, a friend of Joe Laurinaitis. I'm no expert on what happens when you die because I have no if I've died before, I have no recollection of it. So it's one of life's mysteries. Maybe one day we'll find out the truth. Chelsea Green from the WWE, and she's also in a match against Tessa Blanchard on this channel from PCW Ultra, says that she had COVID-19 but is now clear of it. Stephanie McMahon sold $2,255,000, 710 of WWE stock. So she sold well over $2 million of her WWE stock for whatever that's worth. And as a follow-up from last week, Mike Johnson reported that Melina Perez was going to be returning to the WWE. People in the company that should have known this did not confirm this, but the Wrestling Observer also reported this last week, but a lot of people figured it was true. Perez is denying it. However, that does not mean necessarily that she's not signed. I know, for instance, when I was signed, I wasn't allowed to say anything until I passed the medical. And if they did sign somebody and they have something for them on TV, often they do want it to be a surprise, so they'll tell them not to sign. So maybe she confided in someone and they leaked it. Maybe she's telling the truth and she's not really signed at all. You never know, but the point that I'm reporting, and I already reported this after she denied it, was she is currently denying that she's signed to WWE. However, she's also saying at the same time that she would like to go back still. And Benjamin Butler tipped me $4.99. Thank you very much, Benjamin Butler. WWE is launching a collection of wines featuring Undertaker and Ultimate Warrior wines. I think Ultimate Warrior's is white and Undertaker's is red. If anyone wants to send me a bottle of the Undertaker's, since wet red wine is the healthier of the two, I will happily drink the entire bottle on a Q&A session, or perhaps one of my 420 reviews that everyone likes so much. Ringside News is reporting that WWE is interested in Harry, the British Bulldog Smith, who is the reigning The Hannibal TV heavyweight champion. He just hasn't been able to defend the belt in forever because of the lockdown. But they're reporting that WWE is interested in him for the NXT UK brand, an idea that I actually suggested on here a long time ago because he could greatly help the NXT brand and be used as a star there. However, he's locked into this MLW contract. To my knowledge, I know a bunch of people in MLW. The people that I know in MLW only get paid if they wrestle, but they can't wrestle anywhere else unless they have special deals with MLW under this contract, but MLW isn't running any shows. So in other words, MLW is holding Harry Smith hostage, basically. They're not using him, but they're not letting him out of his contract. His contract ends in December, and at that point, he'll be able to go to WWE or wherever he ends up. Probably, in my opinion, the best place for him would be WWE, since AEW really hasn't done anything good with heavyweights. I mean, they brought in his partner Lance Archer to AEW and had him job to Cody pretty much right away. AEW was down in rating this week. They did a 0.32. NXT did a 0.18. Raw did a 0.15. SmackDown did... Raw did a 0.5. Raw did a 0.5, not 1.5. SmackDown did a 0.54. Speaking of Lance Archer, he tested positive for COVID. And also, a lot of AEW wrestlers were at the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Miami game on September 24th. There were 17,000 fans in attendance for that. So for the people making excuses that AEW, I guess, has been having problems getting people to come out to their Dynamite tapings, they are allowing fans, but they're having issues getting crowds. They're only getting like 200 to 300 fans out to their tapings where they could have a lot more. And they were using COVID as an excuse. Well, there were 17,000 at the Jaguars versus Dolphin game And I guess they played the Stadium Stampede AEW pay-per-view match during halftime. I know Jim Ross and Chris Jericho were also at that game because I saw Jim Ross posted pictures of them at the game. The United Wrestling Network is working with NWA right now, doing weekly Tuesday night pay-per-views. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I know some people from the United Wrestling Network, and it's no secret I don't like Nick Aldis. No secret at all. But with MLW holding people hostage in their contracts, I kind of lost respect for MLW. I don't even know if they're going to run again, to be honest with you. I hope they do for the people that work for them, because I like a lot of the people that work for them. Impacts is the drizzling shits. Ring of Honor is the drizzling shits. So I hope something comes out of this United Wrestling Network NWA thing. I really hope. I like Billy Corgan. I like the people from the United Wrestling Network, and I hope that they can build something. And yes, let's get a fresh champion in there. Let's get rid of this Nick Aldis. I'm pretty sure that'll help you guys out. And at AAA news in Mexico, starting October the 3rd, they're going to be doing drive-in theater style shows with 250 cars per show. In UFC news, Dana White told TMZ there's nothing on the horizon for either John Jones or Brock Lesnar, who Dana White hasn't heard anything from Brock Lesnar. There's talk of a Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul boxing match which Meltzer shits on. But Logan Paul is a huge star. Like, I talk to younger people at the gym where I train, and they're talking about people like Logan Paul, and boxing is a business. If he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather and that fight is going to draw more pay-per-view buys than anyone else Mayweather would box, why not? Logan Paul does train seriously. I'm all for that if they want to do that fight. Jackie Stallone, the mother of Sylvester Stallone, who appeared in the Glow series, who, by the way, I interviewed Hollywood from Glow earlier this week, passed away on September 21st at the age of 98. I've got a bunch of interviews coming up. Tyler Rex on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern Monday. I have Boss Rutin, who I have wanted to interview for a long time. He's actually a hero of mine. Melissa Anderson, cheerleader Melissa, easy for me to say, on Tuesday. Guy Mesger, UFC pioneer, on Thursday. Chemo, another UFC pioneer, he's coming up. So I got a lot of good interviews coming up. I'll get into some of your comments, but I got to head off to the gym here, so I'm not going to do a lot. DTLA says, RIP Animal. Has anyone ever done an atheist wrestling character? The Centennial asked. Not to my knowledge. I wouldn't say that I'm fully atheist, by the way. Drew Kane is an idiot. Follow my second YouTube channel if you want to. For the people that don't like my clips of shoot interview clips, some people for some reason complain about them, but they get huge hits, so they're never going to stop on the Hannibal TV. My second YouTube channel, Devon Nicholson, is my live stream interviews. So there's little to no clips on that channel. So I highly suggest you subscribe to that. Chris says RIP to the LOD. Kevin Wynn says if someone tells you they know what happens when somebody dies, they're lying. I agree, Kevin. I fully agree. The Centennial says he finds it puzzling that someone as charismatic as Animal is the brother of John Laurinaitis. I didn't have much interaction with Laurinaitis other than he did hire me for WWE. So I don't really have much negative about him. He has to be a dick for his job in some ways. Damien says Johnny Ace was good in Japan. Super Clash TV doesn't want Davey Boy Smith Jr. to go to WWE. However, you got to go. I don't know exactly how old he is now, but he's around his mid-30s. He needs to go where he can make the most money. 100%. And I think Super Clash TV is actually the World Pro Wrestling Company in the UK, where Harry was supposed to wrestle, actually, the Blood Hunter in October. However, that event got canceled because, unfortunately, the pandemic's ruined everything. Matt says, when will I be doing another 420 review? Probably whenever I finish watching the Cobra Kai series. I have 2 episodes left. Kevin Wynn says Harry would get buried in AEW. I agree. Damien, any chance of ever getting GNW in Orlando? No. Because Orlando is oversaturated with wrestling. Could I see it coming, or a version or a promoted event for me in Arizona one day? Yes. Very possible, because I want to live in Arizona, and if I ever move to Arizona, I'll probably run events there. Jonathan says the world has not seen a virus this bad since Gary Glitter took his lab top to Curry's. I don't get the joke. I don't really follow the news, so I have no idea what that's all about. Any chance of interviewing Paul Ellering, Chris asks? I do have a small one with him on here. Maybe. Andy thinks Dave Meltzer is a mark for himself. Big Richard says, how am I feeling? I'm feeling fine. Like strong, great cardio, as violent and as vicious as ever. Kevin Wynn, Toronto is ripe for wrestling promotions. I'll be honest with you, there's no good wrestling promotions in Toronto, in my opinion. A lot of crappy promotions, actually. But I am not a fan of Toronto, by the way. My city is enemy cities with Ottawa. Ottawa and Toronto are enemy cities, but Toronto is just, the traffic is brutal. You can be caught in traffic for 3 or 4 hours there. And the people of that city are very arrogant. I'll keep my distance from Toronto. Tom Gibley says, it says Animal died of natural causes. That's hard to believe at 60 years old. I don't know. But I got to go to the gym. I got to chug down this broccoli protein shake and head off to the gym. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm going to go pump some iron.